What's up, football fans? It's time for week number 10. Count them with both hands for the NFL picks and predictions for the 2024-2025 season. But you know what we always do first. Let's look at how we did last week, because somehow still lost the week, but managed to clean up pretty good. 12-3. That's pretty good. Not only are we 2 points above the average that we try to meet every week with a solid 10 wins regardless of the number of games, we also, since there was only 15 games played, we only had 3 actual losses. So that, all right, I'm good with that. But let's see what exactly happened. So we initially jump in and Houston loses the Thursday night game. That one honestly threw me for a loop. That was not an upset pick by any regard. My 3 upsets, I went 1-3 on my upsets. But the fact of the matter is, Houston losing was a big, did that just happen? Sort of moment for me. Then we jump into Sunday football and the Dallas Cowboys. You know, let's just say I'm not expecting anything to happen for the rest of this season when it comes to my Cowboys. And hopefully speedy recovery to Dak. You know, hopefully Lamb's shoulder is okay as well. And Cooper Rush is a very solid backup quarterback, and I think he's going to do well. But given that this all starts at the top and nothing has changed, I don't still see, no matter how much talent we have on the field, without the proper coaching behind it, I don't really see us doing very much for the rest of this season, unfortunately. Though I still think that Cooper Rush is going to do his damnedest to show he is also quite a good quarterback. So hats off to him. But we did end up losing 27-21. Not as bad as I thought we were going to lose. And honestly, it was the receivers at the end who sort of screwed that up. Cooper Rush put it in the end zone, a very catchable ball 3 times. We only needed 2 out of 3 to win the game, and we got 1. You know, so there's only so much a quarterback can do. Anyways, moving on from that tragedy that started off that the 2 o'clock games. Buffalo beat Miami, though it was a very close game. Division rivalries always are, as I always say. Cincinnati sort of handed it to the Raiders, but I expected that, especially at home, so we picked them. Now, Cleveland was my second upset. Dallas being my first, Cleveland being my second. I thought they would do better at home. The Chargers are very wishy-washy. Sometimes they only score 10 points. Other times they do what they did this week and score 27. You know, they're so up and down, it's hard to know what team you're going to get on any given Sunday. But yeah, so 2 of my upsets don't work out. But however, for the rest of this, perfection. Not a single loss coming at you. Tennessee beats New England, though it was a close game. Washington beats the Giants, but once again a division rivalry. Washington is a far better team than the Giants on paper and by record. However, divisions are always weird, and the Giants were closer than I think Washington wanted them to be. Then, Carolina Panthers. What did I say? Carolina has to win sometime, and this is only their second win, I believe, of the year. I thought it was their first when it happened, but they were apparently already had 1 win that I forgot about. But either way, Carolina Panthers with their second win over the New Orleans Saints, 23-22. It was extremely close, but one of my upsets actually happened, so there we go. Baltimore over Denver I was actually sort of humming and hawing about picking Denver for that one. I really was. I'm some glad I didn't, because they got dog walked. Baltimore wins that one. Philly manages to pull it out over Jacksonville. Not so impressive considering it's Jacksonville, but still 28-23 there. Arizona dominates the Bears. I'm glad I went with Arizona on that one. Detroit and Green Bay, while this was a solid game for about the first half, I would argue, into the third quarter, it was pretty clear that Detroit seemed to really step it up. They had Green Bay's number, and Green Bay had no answer once Detroit managed to score a few points, right? So that is what it is there. You know, even with the snow and the rain and stuff like that was happening, it was kind of bad weather, which Green Bay is known to be able to play and excel in versus other teams. It didn't seem to matter. The Lions win again. Then the Rams over Seattle, while that game was only one possession, 26-20, and the Rams had a pretty solid lead for the most part. Minnesota then beats up on Indianapolis, and Kansas City beats Tampa Bay, but once again, by one possession score. You know what I mean? These games, Kansas City might be looking strong, and they're still winning, and some people will tell you, winning's all that matters at the end of the day. I don't care if you win by 1 point or 100 points, as long as you secure the win. Not exactly a bad attitude to have, but I do see some problems with it. I really do. So once again, there will be a time to pick against Kansas City, and I nearly thought the Buccaneers was going to be my fourth upset. Glad I didn't pick them, of course, but you know, I was considering it, so that should say something. So 12-3, pretty solid week for us. I think the winner got a perfect week, so there was no way for me to even be in the running for that one, but it is what it is. So let's move on to our Week 10 picks. So starting us off tonight for Thursday Night Football, we have Baltimore and Cincinnati in Baltimore, and I'm going to give it to Baltimore. I just am. While Cincinnati, I think, will pull out some stops, and it won't be a cakewalk for Baltimore, I just don't see Cincinnati being able to put up those same numbers against the Ravens. The Ravens defense, while maybe not the best in the league, is quite solid, and Cincinnati has been struggling against defenses with some solid power behind them. So, yeah, going with the Ravens there. Now, for all our Sunday games, we have the Giants over Carolina. This is a bit of a toss-up, a bit of a hard pick. While Carolina might be considered the worst team in the league, the Giants aren't exactly pushing for the top either, though I'm still going to give it to the Giants this one. Bears over New England. In all honesty, I thought about this one where the Bears kind of got dog-walked last week, but, you know, in Chicago, New England's not so hot. They're still in rebuild, you know. I don't know. I think I'm just going to go with the Bears on that one and play it safe. You know, I'm going mostly with the favorites column this week and stuff, except for Denver over Kansas City. Remember what I just said, Denver over Kansas City. While that is an insane pick and goes against all the numbers, I do think that Kansas City is not going to have their perfect year. I just don't foresee it happening this year. Someone's going to stop them, and it's not going to be who we expect. Plus, Kansas City, while they've had hard schedules in the past, in all honesty, they have a very mild, quite a weak schedule this year. You know, overall, they're not going to be playing all the number one teams and all the top 5 teams, you know, in their regular season. So, therefore, if you're going to pick against Kansas City, it's got to be one of these, you know, middle of the pack type of teams that pull out a crazy win, you know. So, either way, going with the Broncos over Kansas City. It's one big upset, but, you know, the rest are basically favorites, considering Atlanta over New Orleans for obvious reasons. San Francisco over Tampa Bay. Think that one is actually still kind of a toss-up because San Francisco has not been the powerhouse they are supposed to be, while Tampa Bay is showing some signs of being able to push it when it matters, but still not being able to turn on that last bit of gas like last Monday there. So, or on this Monday, I should say. So, you know, that one's a bit of a toss-up in all honesty, but I am going to go with San Francisco and just go with the numbers on that. Washington over Pittsburgh, I have no doubts there. Minnesota Vikings over Jacksonville. Is anybody picking Jacksonville? And if you do, are you picking it because that's your upset? You know, because everyone needs a couple of upsets per week. I very rarely, as I've said many times, you almost never see all the favorites by the numbers. All the favorites almost never win the whole week. There's always one or two upsets. There's always a couple, if not more. Especially with these toss-up games, these 50-50 coin flip games. So, look no further. We're going to go with the Chargers over Tennessee. That's not so much a coin toss one, but we are going with the Chargers. Then Philadelphia Eagles over the Dallas Cowboys. Though I think Cooper Rush is going to step up to the plate quite well. Parsons is back. That's a major thing for our defense, which has been sorely lacking. I just don't see it. As I said, the sidelines and at the top, the office has been the major thorn in Dallas' side. We have the talent, we just don't have the coaching staff to put it all together into proper use and to be able to change plans on the fly like they're supposed to be able to do. You know, so due to the coaching problems in Dallas, I just don't see. I don't see the Eagles not capitalizing on that and managing to win. While Dallas will probably give them a bit of run for their money, And if they win, I will happily take the L, of course, but it is what it is. I got to go with the Eagles on that one. Jets over Arizona is my upset pick, where the Jets managed to beat the Houston Texans, who I believe are better than both the Jets and Arizona. But if the Jets are able to beat the Texans, stands to reason they should be able to beat the Cardinals. That's all I'm trying to say there. So I am going, 2 upset picks with the Broncos over Kansas City, and that's a major Hail Mary, just like the Carolina Panthers pick last week, but that worked out. And the Jets over Arizona is more of a weaker upset, but still considered an upset for this week. Then the Lions over those same Houston Texans, because the Lions, in my opinion, are the strongest team in the league right now by week 10. I think they are. I honestly think they're stronger than Kansas City. I really do. I think Detroit's the best team in the league right now, and kudos to them. And finally, finishing us off with Monday Night Football. I'm going with my Rams over the Dolphins. I think the Rams had a very rocky start, but I think they figured out a few problems, and I really do think that they'll win that by probably at least 10 points. I really do. I don't think Miami is going to... as I said, the rivalry games like against Buffalo and stuff don't showcase as well as Miami can do on the road against non-divisional teams. So I don't suspect Miami to be as close-knit and be down to the wire as they were with the Bills last week. I think the Rams will, as I said, solidly win by double digits, by 10 points or more. So, but that's just my prediction. Those are my picks. What did you guys think? What did you pick? Let me know down in the comment section down below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And have some fun watching football this Sunday, as we always say. So, have a good one, everyone. That's it from me. Sayonara.